Our next speaker was born and raised in Vermont. He decided to move to Rhode Island to get away from the cold. Not sure how that's been working out. Anyway, he has over 15 years of construction experience, so owning his own business was a natural fit. Today, when he's not working on a client's home or coming out of the local lumber yard, you'll likely run into him at a weekend farmer's market or at the Broad Rock Community Garden with his 2 children in tow, Asher and Olivia. Speaking today about local foods and their value, please welcome Ethan Biederman to the stage.
Hi, I'm here to talk to you today about the food we eat and how more of it should be local. Food has gotten really confusing lately, to the point where this is actually considered breakfast. Delicious. Supermarkets are full of food that have convinced us to give up convenience, or to achieve convenience by giving up taste, flavor, and healthiness. Food isn't even recognizable anymore. This is chicken. This is what kids think of as chicken. Is this what we really want to have going on? How much of our time are we willing to save to just completely give up the benefit of real healthy food? The other downside of this is because food is produced so far from us, we're allowed to just completely give up thinking about how it's actually raised. If you had to drive to this place to pick up your hamburger, you might feel very differently about how it was raised, but we don't. It's in the supermarket. Our kids have no idea how food comes to our house. We go into the supermarket and it's arranged beautifully. We pick it up, we put it in our cart. They don't know what a farm looks like. They don't know how animals are raised and treated. They don't know how vegetables are grown from seeds. The other issue that we have is that when it is shipped so far, things have to be done to it that make it not entirely healthy. What is packed in there to make it last? Do we really want a strawberry that looks perfect that we can buy in November but tastes like cardboard? The problem with that is food is seasonal. Vegetables grow at certain times of the year, and that's when they taste good, and that's when we should eat them. I'll introduce you to the farmer's market. If you're not always going there, once a week, you can go and you can get all the food you need to prepare most of your meals 52 weeks of the year. There are indoor farmers markets. Now, 3 times a week in this area, there are outdoor farmers market during the summer. You want to know how the food was raised? Ask this guy. He grew it. The other benefit of going to the farmer's market is that you will meet the people that produce all of your food and introduce your children to the people that also grow the food. If they have a question about how is a loaf of bread made, they can ask the person that made the loaf of bread. It's really great, and it teaches them to enjoy what they're putting in their bodies. There's lots of other great things that you can buy locally. There is fish, lamb, pork, beef, goat, and we have an amazing variety of other things that are raised locally. Lots of seafood, obviously, in Point Judith. You can buy almost anything you can imagine. You don't need to go to the supermarket. You can get it right from the source. If you're a little strapped for time and have a busy schedule, you don't have to go to the farmer's market. You can get a farm share. There are at least 2 locally where you can pay a one-time fee, and for 4 to 5 months of the year, stop by once a week and just pick up a basket of local fresh farm food. That's all you have to do. If you don't even have time for that, you can call Monroe Dairy and they'll put a box on your doorstep. Well, they'll fill it with whatever you want once a week. Great cheeses, dairy, all sorts of meat products. Really amazing stuff. Another thing we have a lot of in Rhode Island that I feel is a little bit of a secret are amazing orchards. This is a peach, that's actually my daughter Olivia enjoying one of her first real fresh peaches. We have amazing peach orchards. You can get blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. You can go strawberry picking. We have great apples. Almost 3 or 4 months of the year, you can go out every single week and try a new, interesting kind of fruit that's going to be completely fresh and just taste incredible. Nothing like that piece of cardboard strawberry in the supermarket. One of my favorite things to do is garden. It's a lot more work, it's not really all that cost effective, but no food on earth will ever taste as good as something you grew from scratch. My daughter doesn't like tomatoes, yet for some reason when we grow tomatoes, she'll eat them all day long. She'll pick them right off the vine and put them in her mouth because she knows where that tomato came from. It matters. The other thing about gardening that I really enjoy is that food isn't a convenience item. It's not something that should be rushed. It's something worth spending time on. growing it, preparing it, and cooking it is an important part of our lives. Another thing is, bring your kids, involve them in the gardening, show them what it really means to raise something, and they will eat very differently than if they're looking at dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets. This is actually from our garden. That's just something we picked one day when I was there with my daughter, and you can see, it's actually enough for a week's worth of vegetables. You can find other uses for food if you want. It's good for fashion too. There are community gardens in the area if you do not have room in your own backyard, and they're a great way to get started if you really don't have a lot of experience. The other thing you can do is plant smaller containers and just start small. It's really amazing what you can get out of just a few pots in your backyard. So here's what I challenge you to do. Just take one of these things I've talked to you about and incorporate it into your life. If you're already doing one of them, add one more. And I challenge you to increase the amount of local food that you eat to 25% this year and see what a difference it makes in your life. Thank you.